again. Thank
I was just practicing anyway, so let's do it. Yeah, this is this. Okay, guys, so I want to get started by giving you guys a question here, and it doesn't matter where your experience lies within project management. You could not even be within the project management sector, but what is project management to you? Is it A, B, C, or D? Is it A, a method for completing projects using a linear approach? Is it B, a set of principles and practices to initiate, plan, execute, monitor, and close projects? Is it C, a software tool for tracking project tasks? Or is it D, a type of project team structure? Please put your answer into the chat. And as I'm looking into the chat, I see it's unanimous. Everyone thinks it's B, and they are correct. And I will just mention here a set of principles to practice, initiate, plan, execute, monitor, and close practice. Those are the different phases within a traditional methodology within project management called waterfall. We will show you in depth what the differences of project management traditionally and agile project management are. But B is the correct answer. Now, what is agile project management? Again, just take a stab at it. Doesn't matter what your experience is. Is it A, a project management methodology that emphasizes adaptability, flexibility, and customer collaboration? Is it B, project management approach that focus on strict adherence to the project plan? Is it C, a project management software used for agile projects? Is it D, a project management framework for large-scale projects? Okay, let me take a look into the chat here. I'm getting a lot of A's. And that, of course, is the answer. So very good. So this is definitely a methodology that emphasizes adaptability, flexibility, customer collaboration. Again, we'll go into depth of the differences between the two, show you some examples as well as we go through our masterclass. Let's go on to number 3. Now, what percentage of projects fail? Now, you may not, just give me a guess. You may not know this. A, 10%, B, 25, C, 50, or D, 70. I want to see what you guys think over here. I'm getting a lot of A's. Okay, so after the A's, I'm getting some variety here. I'm getting D. I have a B. I'm getting a couple C's there. So guys, you might be surprised to know that 70% of projects fail. In traditional project management, the failure at 70% rate really was a trigger for agility to come into play here. Specifically the Scrum framework, which we will do some deep dives in our course on that as well. But you'd be surprised. There are many reasons for why projects fail. Even agile projects do fail. There are reasons. We will go over that as well. So I just wanted to do that exercise really quickly with you. I think that's a fun little exercise. It gives us an idea of your knowledge as well. Again, those are basic questions. Let's move on. So who should take this course? Okay. So again, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. If you are within project management, have a little bit of experience, we're here to sharpen that tool of yours. If you have absolutely no experience, no exposure, but have heard a lot about project management, you want to see how it is you could transition. We're here to show you how to get onto that path. And we'll share personal experiences. Rashanti herself has a very interesting story for her transition. I myself do as well. So we'll take you. So no matter if you're in the beginning, you're in the middle, you could be in a leadership role, just leading people. You could be a product manager, a tech leader, continuous learner. It really doesn't matter, folks, where you're coming from. Oh, I see the cameras are working. So I'm not sure if you guys want to see me, but here you go. I'll turn my camera on too. Oh no, mine doesn't work yet, but that's probably for the good. Let's continue on. So yeah, that's who this course should be taken by. Really anyone, guys. If you have an interest, that's what you're here for. We're here to give you guys a little bit of information that'll help you decide if this is the field for you. And there is an enormous amount of support that you'll get not only through our course, but even after our course. I'll dive deep into those particulars later on.
I just wanted to add something here, folks. It's just that touching on what Michael previously said, right? Agile project management and project management as a whole, it doesn't necessarily have to be just in tech. Every sector, every industry needs a project manager. It could be in different various of ways of within the organization, but the realm itself is needed in every corporation, every sector, every industry. Steph, would you like to introduce yourself? I think we're having some technical difficulties, so I'll go ahead and
No,
introduce.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I was talking on mute. And for those people involved in the remote workforce, you'll probably get a lot of, oh, I was talking on mute. That's exactly what I was doing. I went on mute while Rashanti was talking, but I can go ahead. Sorry about that, Rashanti, and sorry everyone. So my name is Seth. I am born and raised in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. I'm a graduate from the University of Toronto. I have a computer science degree. Within the project management sector, I have 10 plus years. I think I've been doing this for over 15 years. I honestly, I can't remember. I feel like I've been doing this forever. I am working primarily as a consultant, worked for many different industries, worked on many different projects within the tech sector. I do want to stress though, guys, project management is just, it started in tech, but there are project managers in all industries. And it doesn't just have to be technology. And also the agility factor, again, not confined to technology. It's been scaled out, being used in organizations in every department these days. And you can, of course, scale this up to your personal life as well, which I'll share some personal experiences with you guys later on. But this adds value in your professional and personal life. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Rashanti, hand it off to you.
Thank you, Seth. So, guys, I have about a little over 9 years of experience just in a hybrid type of project management. Aside from that, I do have a background in data analytics and business management. I didn't always start in project management, like Seth said, right? I started off as a journalist. I have a degree in journalism, and then I transitioned my way into project management because I loved it. My first gig, actually, believe it or not, was in construction project management. I was part of a team that was building a four-tower condominium here in Canada, and then that's how I ventured into project management because I loved the structure of how I'm able to manage a large project. And then I slowly transitioned into tech and agency. That's how I met Michael, and we've been working for together for some time now, and within different agencies as well. He would be my counterpart, so he was my partner in crime in many of these projects. Aside from that, I do have experience in leading resource management, capacity planning. I work with C-level executives in SOWs, NDAs, proposals. So I have a lot of experience in that aspect from a business standpoint as well as tech. And I will definitely be able to give you the insights and ins and outs of how to navigate your way through your career, this job entails a lot of networking. If you know how to network, you could get into to great places within your organization. And I do have experience working as international project management, which we will get to, and we will tell you, share some of the benefits of that because that work opens a whole realm of industries for you, and the potential is there to make money and also to grow as an individual. So that's a bit about me. Let's go ahead to the next slide. Why are we different? Seth, tell me, why are we different?
Here we go. Let's come off mute here. My camera seems to be working, so hello, everybody. So there is, you'll notice that a lot of institutions are offering a lot of certifications, which we are very pro certifications. But this course is a little different. We're giving you some practical experience. Through the 11-week course, we're going to be taking you through a capstone project, which has been custom tailored with our experiences in mind. So 25 years of experience. Experience is the best teacher. I'm sure you've heard that. So we're trying to take, the cream of the crop from our experiences and bring it to you. We'll also offer you career preparation. And I'm going to go into greater detail in future slides about career preparation. We really dive deep and give you guys all of the information you need to get started on your career path or to climb the ladder in your career path, depending on where you're at. So this is us filling a gap that we've identified in the industry of teaching project management, of teaching agility. And I'll get more into like what I mean by that gap as we move forward.
I just have a question for you guys. How many of you have a CSM or is a project manager? If you guys can answer that in our chat. Anybody here? Or are you guys new to the industry? Because from the looks of your answers, it looks like we have a lot of experts.
So we have a
And by the
CSM.
way, the CSM is the Certified Scrum Master. Just in case you're wondering, for those of you who are new to this, is the
So
certified.
CSM is a certified Scrum Master, and it's offered by the governing body referred to as Scrum Alliance. Their website is scrumalliance.org. You might be PMP certified, maybe. That is through PMI. This is globally known. If you're in Europe, UK, there is a Prince certification over there as well. These are very, very good. And sometimes just to sit at the table and have a conversation for a job, you need these certifications. Okay. Now, in this course, though, we're going to add some practical. It's good to have that theoretical. It's good to have that certification. You've gotten through the interview process. Day one, you get at the job and you're kind of a little bit overwhelmed. What do I do? There are multiple scenarios that can happen right from day one. We're here to share experiences. We're here to throw you into those scenarios, see how you react. There's a lot of there's no black and white here. There's no right or wrong. There are multiple ways to handle situations. We'll give you guys everything that you need to handle yourself.
Exactly. And it looks like we have a couple of newbies and we do have a couple of experts with CSMs. But guys, like when you do your CSM certified course, right? It's usually like those 2 days or 4-day course and you don't have hands-on experience. And even when you're doing your PSM or your PMP examination, it's like you're studying, you're doing the exam, and then you're like, hey, go to the job market and find a job, right? We're trying to fill that gap because I personally went through the CSM, even though I do have a degree in project management. It's like, what is Scrum? How do I run a daily stand-up? How do I do a refinement session? How do I, all those questions that I had. And thank God I had Seth to lean on because I was clueless, even though I had a project management background, right? And again, this is exactly why we're offering this course. And yes, Dean, we are here to help you. Definitely get that experience for you.
Awesome. Okay. What to expect from this course. So again, as I go through some of the details here, you'll see or notice some differences from our offerings and other people and what they're offering. Of course, we're not telling you not to have any theoretical. We're going to build that foundation for you. That is number one. So the foundational knowledge that you need within agility, within Agile, think of Agile as an umbrella. Within that umbrella, there are many different frameworks that could be used. Scrum is the most popular framework used globally around the world. So we're going to focus on Scrum, but we'll touch on other frameworks as well. Kanban is something that's very popular as well. It's also pronounced Kanban, depends where you are and what you prefer, doesn't matter. But there are multiple frameworks, but we'll be taking you through touching on every little bit. We're going to talk to you about being a Scrum Master. what it takes to be a Scrum Master, what are the roles and responsibilities that are outlined for you to be a Scrum Master. There are a lot of ceremonies. You can look at them as meetings. We'll take you through each individual meeting. We'll tell you what the purpose, the objective of that meeting is, how you as a Scrum Master should facilitate that meeting. We'll give you multiple scenarios of what could happen within those meetings and how you should handle it. Again, when you go through the theory, you get your CSM or any type of certification with Scrum, and then again, now you're at the job and you run into a situation. Theory is very different than being right there. So we're going to take you through the capstone project within our course. We'll also give you our experiences, and every day is a new day for me and Rashanti at our workplaces as well. So we have tons of stories for you guys, and so we will be sharing those within this course as well. Now, moving on, Agile project management will give you give you some experiences and some knowledge on that, so especially on the lean side. We'll give you real world applications like I've mentioned. This course will definitely prepare you for the CSM exam. Now, if you are taking the CSM course, there is an offering, and Michael will go into that through the TheSkillGarage. We can offer a discount with our partners, but it is a mandatory 2-day course. So you have to take that 2-day course. But over here, we can lay the foundation before you go over there. So you're not just starting from scratch. You have a good understanding. You'll be able to grasp it much more better if you start over here. Career
And vice versa.
advancement. Yes, sorry. And career advancement. So, what are your prospects for developing your career? Where do you go from here? How do you network? Rashanti is an expert networker, so she will give you some tips and tricks. How to boost your confidence. There is a lot of psychology, in this field of you dealing with people on a team, conflict resolution. There's a way for you to get versatile in the types of projects that you take on. Really simply, I want to just quickly share with you, I try not to work on the same type of project twice. So my portfolio is very versatile. So I prefer to be, have that type of experience. You could prefer to silo yourself within a certain type of project and be, the expert in those type of projects. It really depends what you want and what kind of niche you want to go into. But we will go through all of the information over there. In terms of our course package breakdown, the emphasis is on Scrum and project management, but again, we bring in that real world experience. We talk about job titles. Now, this is something that's not spoken about anywhere that I've seen. You will see multiple job titles, like Scrum Master, Project Manager, Technical Project Manager, Agile Project Manager, Delivery Manager, and the list goes on. There are a lot of overlaps within these titles. We're going to go over those nuances with you, introduce them to you, and maybe you'll see what you like. Now, again, from organization to organization, their definitions of those roles differ as well. So you'll find that. So for my experience as a consultant, that's what I see. I go from organization to organization, and my role as a Scrum Master over here as opposed to over there, very different. And you just have to be flexible and adaptable. You have to be agile, but we're going to give you that information in this course so you have a foundation. You're not dumbfounded in an interview when people are talking about delivery, agile project management, etc. And that capstone project is going to really give you some good world experience to prepare yourself for the real world. I did touch on this, but there is some interview prep that we will do with you guys. We'll give you some tips and tricks on how to prepare for an interview specific to project management, not industry specific, not project specific, generic, across the board, what you need to do. We will give you some resume coaching. Aside from these two, we're also going to offer you one-on-one. So if you take this course, me and Rashanti will sit with each and every one of you that take this course one-on-one. We'll give you some coaching across the board. Whatever we feel that you need, we'll have that session, see what it is that you need. We'll give you that value. Now, there's even more. It's like an infomercial almost, but there is more. I will give you some community support. So we're not here to say, hey guys, take this course and then goodbye. We want to build a community here. So we're going to be a part of something. There will be monthly Zoom calls. Let's discuss, guys, how you guys are doing out there. you know, what kind of jobs you're working on, what kind of contracts you have, what kind of industry you're in. Let's share experiences. Let's share challenges. We also have a WhatsApp group. You can put information in there. You know, if you have a challenge in the day, you could say, hey guys, this is what I'm going through right now. I don't know what to do. Can somebody help me? And, you know, so that is a group with a little mini network. We can help each other. We can support each other. We can share stories. So I think that is a lot of value. So we're here to grow as a network. You can look at us as a family, just growing. And in terms of group activities, we want to teach you guys through a lot of different activities in this course. For example, in theoreticals, you'll hear a lot about, hey, as a Scrum Master, you need to remove impediments for your team. You'll be given a multiple choice questionnaire and, you know, what is an impediment? We're going to take you through real life impediments though. And it's not like one impediment at a time. You could be bombarded with 10, 15 things at once. How do you manage? How do you prioritize? How do you not take pressure? There's a lot of psychology to this, and there's a way to conduct yourself. And when you conduct yourself the right way, that gives your team confidence in you. Once your team has confidence in you, the rest is history. Now you're a family. Now you have their back, they have your back, and you can do anything it is that you want. So we will go through that, guys.
Aside from that, guys, you know, it's not just about impediment scenarios, right? We are going to be offering other sets of scenarios of discussions that may happen amongst your team members, amongst stakeholders, amongst upper leadership. And we're going to tell you share some nick and tacks of techniques that we've learned along the way and how to handle that. Sometimes it's, you know, you have good days and sometimes you have bad days. How are you going to navigate that? I always tell everybody, I'm like, as long as you have, you know, this job consists of 90% of common sense and 10% of creativity. As long as you know how to navigate through this, you'll be able to aim high within this career scope.
All right. So differences between a Scrum Master, an Agile PM, a delivery manager. Now, there are many more, but just to tackle these two, there's subtle differences. And I'm going to give you, from my experience, my real world experience, and I've worked with global organizations, from startups to big enterprises. So a Scrum Master, your role is limited to your team and focusing on agility. You're trying to quickly iterate, bring a product to market as fast as possible. And usually an organization wants to focus on ceremonies, focusing on a team and growing them to their potential. Now, as a Scrum Master, once you've done your job, that team technically does not need a Scrum Master anymore. They can rotate that role within the team. Now you will go to another team and you will share your knowledge. So once you've reached a level of maturity where, you know, let's say you're busy one day, you have an appointment, you appoint someone to, you know, be the Scrum Master that day, they should be able to take that on very easily once you've matured as a team. So that is, in a nutshell, that's a Scrum Master. But I mean, of course, there's a lot to the ceremonies and whatnot that we will take you through in this course. But as an Agile project manager, it's a little bit more in depth in terms of responsibilities. Now you have everything within the Scrum Master realm, but now you have a lot more reporting to leadership. You are working on budgeting, capacity planning. You could be working from the inception of the project, from a charter documentation, which comes from traditional project management. A charter is a document, just the very beginning, step zero for starting a project. You could go from there and build your way up. Now, again, these are very different from organization to organization, but I'm just giving you my experiences. So delivery manager, for instance, it could just be focused on release. So when you're releasing a product to market, you're working within a program. There are multiple teams within a program. You are over here trying to manage those products being released, ensuring there are no collisions, there are no conflicts of any sort. You could also be a delivery manager that has, you know, your role is to also work with the team. And Rashanti has a lot of experience as a delivery manager, and she is now a program manager. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about delivery manager and her experience.
Thanks, Seth. So a little bit about, the differences, right? As a Scrum Master, you're a servant. You're serving your team, right? The difference between a Scrum Master and an Agile project manager and also a delivery manager is that delivery manager in my organization or within the realm of program management, it's a little bit of program management and all these tasks together. So you have a lot more responsibility. You are working with C-level executives. Like I mentioned earlier, right? I was working with the CFO because I'm responsible for the SOWs, the NDAs, the RFQs and RFIs. As well, I was responsible for the team management. On the other hand, you're also spearheading resource management and capacity planning. And when you're taking the lead on a program as a program manager or a delivery manager, you kind of have to have grit, have those difficult conversations. Don't be afraid to say no. There's a lot of situations where folks don't are afraid to talk up to their leaders, and that's not the case. When you're a delivery manager, you have to have that kind of like that mindset where you're doing this for the team, you're doing this for the project, you're doing this for the program as a whole. Aside from that, I've also have experience spearheading the resource planning, which in itself it entails like how to break down the capacity for projects, right? You are essentially going to be responsible for that. And if the budget and the resources start burning, you're responsible for it. So, in my line of work, this is pretty much what I do I did what as a delivery manager, and now in the realm of a program manager, I have all these folks reporting to me. And what I do is I, as a whole, look at all their projects, but I'm not in their ceremonies. I'm not in their, like day-to-day activities and daily stand-ups and whatnot. I'm there as a whole to listen in and understand what their status of the project is. Are we on time? Are we on budget? And then ensure that I'm reporting back to my leaders, which is the VPs, and stating if where the project is or the status of the project, and then having my conversations with the stakeholders in regards to stakeholder relationship management and ensuring there's new business that are coming up from there.
Thank you, Rashanti. And again, just like, I don't want to beat this to death, but the reason that we want to talk about these subtle differences is so you have the information. You can say, well, you know what? Sounds like I want to be just a Scrum Master, or you know what? I like the delivery aspect, or I want to be an Agile project manager. Maybe I want to be a technical project manager. So we'll go through that with you. And again, our classes are not just us talking. There is a lot of participation. So you could in the class, you could stop me and say, hey, I want to be a technical project manager. You haven't presented any information on that. Can we talk about that a little bit? So we can do that. So we want to make sure that we give you a lot of value. All right. So now moving on, again, you might be wondering, why are we looking at the differences between a software agency versus an enterprise corporation? Now, again, the 25 years of experience that me and Rashanti bring, we've worked in multiple different types of orgs, from startups to like medium-sized to large global enterprise corporations. There are subtle differences. If we give you guys our real life experiences of working within these organizations, the good, the bad, the ugly, that gives you guys are equipped to, to make a decision of what what is your ideal situation. For example, I'd like to be a delivery manager in a global corporation, maybe in the energy sector, because Seth shared this, and this, and I did some more research. So you can really focus in on your job search. So software agencies, for the most part, are smaller, boutique, extremely fast-paced. You have client exposure. There is an enormous amount of pressure. You're wearing multiple hats. Now, this is something that might just be for you, or it may not be something for you. In an enterprise, again, in a software agency, a lot of processes are immature. They're not built. There is no documentation. You're onboarding yourself, really. There's no one to help you. In a large enterprise, and again, I'm generalizing, but processes are, mature. You have documentation. Everything is in place for you. You just step in. It's like a turnkey operation almost. Of course, organizations go through changes, transformations, and things may be a little different, but that is temporary. For the most part, things are stable. So you might want that type of work environment as opposed to the other. And there are, we can dig deeper within industries as well, which we will in the course. We'll have like an open platform conversation with you guys. And again, it doesn't matter where in the world you're from. We can have a UK forced or UK focused conversation. Could be somewhere within Africa, could be in the Middle East, could be in North America. We could talk about anything, any region at all, and give you guys some value over there. Okay.
And also, to add to this, I know we're introducing software agency users and enterprise corporation. There's also another aspect that we're going to be introducing in the course, right? Which is operational management and PMOs, right? They're two different things, but in several organizations, they are partners in crime. And we're going to give you a little bit of insight on how to transition also into operational side, which is more of the program management side and the different techniques that I've used to venture my way into operational side as well. Because I was part of spearheading processes, throughout the organization wide kind of for resourcing and capacity planning, and how I was able to achieve those targets and those goals. And Michael was like I said, I always refer to Michael because he was my partner in crime in these scenarios as well. So different team players or team members and colleagues actually play when you do those transitions. And we're definitely going to share those experiences as well.
We're like 10 slides in, and now I'm talking to you about what is project management. So, we're building up to this moment, and I'm not going to give you a textbook definition. I'm not going to give you a wiki definition. I'm going to give you a story, okay, to explain. And when I say project management here, I'm referring to traditional. So I want to explain the evolution here, okay? So I've worked, in time where a project the idea came from the business. There was a business case that was built for a potential product. There were requirements for that product documented. That document was given to the technology department. Here, build this. Big work of could be like a one pager, it could be 1,000 pages, right? The technology department takes it and they build the product. They test the product, hand it back to the business. Here you go. And now the business takes a look and says, fantastic. Yeah, I asked for this requirement. This is here. This is here. And then they're like, wait a minute. I did ask for this and you have delivered exactly what I asked for. But now that I'm looking at it, I don't like it. Can you change this? Which is fine, right? You're getting a feedback. You're getting feedback from, this is your customer. The business is your customer for the technology department here. So the technology department would go back to the drawing board and say, okay, they want to make these changes. Let's take a look at, how we can make these changes. Sometimes it can be a quick change, but, more than often, it requires a potential re-architecture. And that's just one change. There could be 1,000, 1,000 different changes that you need to make. Now, what is that doing? That's delaying the development of your product. That's extending your timeline. That's extending your budget. But more importantly, your product is not getting a market. The competition is already out there. You need to be out there ASAP. Like you got to be out there yesterday. So the evolution of project management, this is how agility was really born because they saw this problem and they said, well, what can we do to fix this problem? And agility, what agility does is it doesn't separate teams. The project team is cross-functional. What do I mean by cross-functional? There are people with different skill sets within the team, co-located. When I say co-located, like in a space, but that space could be remote. We're in a new world now. That could be a remote space, right? For example, I work with the team in Canada, US, India, Chile, Mexico. They're from all over the place, all kinds of time zones. We're a team. So that what I'm trying to say over here is once that in agility, what we're doing here is we're going through iterations now, so quicker feedbacks. So instead of building the entire product out, we're going to say, okay, let's build a little piece and let's show it to all our stakeholders, whoever's involved here. They're going to take a look at it. They're going to give you feedback. Immediately you incorporate. But not only that, now you're going to release a portion of your product to market if possible. Now you're going to start enhancing and building that in small little pieces. What does that do? You're in market immediately. The quality of your product is top notch. You're getting that feedback very early. That is not extending out timelines. If anything, you're probably saving on timeline, saving on budget. The quality is second to none. So it was like absolutely like a no-brainer in terms of agility to be incorporated. Now, what you will see from organization to organization is there is still a lot of flavor of traditional project management where things are sequential and things are not being done in parallel. The business is not involved. For example, there could be a piece of your project that you ship out to a different department. They need to develop it and bring it back to you. They have their own roadmap. They have their own methodologies. In a corporation, it's not, I don't want you to think it's just one way across the board. There could be a transformation taking place and everyone is doing things differently. You have to adapt. You have to understand how to manage your timeline, how to manage your budget, how to report that to leadership, how to recognize things, before they even happen. We're going to give you that information. But in a nutshell, that is project management. That is the difference between project management and agile project management. And that's why agile project management is here to stay. And we'll also give you real life examples of organizations that have transformed into agility and how they've done. Have they done good? Have they done bad? There are multiple examples out there. We'll share them with you. We'll show you what they did, how they did it, the good, the bad, the ugly. Now, why practice agile project management? I give you a few reasons already, but again, this is really customer focused. Like I said, it improves quality. There is increased collaboration within the project team cross-functionally, faster delivery, better risk management, continuous improvement. Now, overall, project management, I have a little blurb here. You're delivering the project more efficiently. And so again, it's a no-brainer. This is the way to go. This is the future. So if you're in the industry or you're not, if you're a project manager or if you're not, this is good information for you to be aware of. Because a lot of the time you could be working in an organization and have exposure to a PM. You could be working on something that's related to a project that someone else is working on. So it's good to know. This is great information.
So touch on
Yes.
a little bit of what Seth said, right? Agility paves the way for lean process. What lean means, right? Like many of you might have heard the certification, the Green 6 Lean certification, the Green Belt certification, sorry, right? And this paves the way for that. And a lot of organizations are leaning towards a lean process. They want fast turnaround. They're not focused on MVP anymore. It's more of a marketable product, right? So it's just a little note that I wanted to add in there because a lot of folks probably heard that term as well.
You know what? Before I move on, that actually reminds me of something. So you will notice a lot of red tape on, project management it's almost like a gated process, which agility is trying to eliminate, but to get from one phase to the other, to release code, there are a lot of documentation, a lot of approvals, but people that are moving more and more towards agility are trying to give the technology, the project teams more autonomy to get to market faster, to push that code out faster with controls in place that keeps things secure and safe, but also does not impact quality. So you'll notice a lot of that. You'll work for an org. Like I've worked where I've had no choice. You got to put in a change request. That goes to a CAB committee that needs to do an approval. They could reject. They could ask for documentation and all this. So you're working on all of this stuff on the side while managing your team. You know, you have a million impediments. You are facilitating a million meetings. You are reporting to leadership. On the side, you're doing documentation here to get to cabs, get things approved, to get that code out. So you are always busy. There is no way you will not be busy. And for the most part, you will not be working with one team. You will be working with multiple teams, multiple projects. So you are switching gears like that. So working with different teams, there could be crossover of resources within different teams. So it gets really creative. It gets really fun. I think it's really fun and it keeps things fresh. But I just wanted to point that out. Thank you, Rishanti.
And sorry, just to add to your point in change management, right? When you come to different organizations and we're working in different industries, you know, my current role, I am part of the creating the process of change management. In large corporations, what you see is that they don't have a process in place. They have all these job titles, all these folks that are doing minimal jobs, but the PM, the delivery manager or the program manager is kind of turning the wheels. So in that case, you are set up for success and also failure. But it really depends on how you actually look at the situation. For example, in my situation, right, they don't have a process for change management at all. It's ad hoc. How do we actually, you know, we talk about agility, but how do we keep track of the changes? If we don't have a process in place, and if it doesn't come from a person that understands project management and program management, it's it's not going to work out. Yeah, the process is not going to go through, and the changes are not going to happen for your product, and you can't deliver on time for your stakeholders, right? So this actually paves the way to get into those kinds of roles if you are looking to explore your options into optimization and processes within your company or organization.
Good stuff. I think this is you over here too.
It is. So Seth mentioned, you know, there's reasons why projects fail in the typical ordinary project management realm, right? But I'm here to tell you that projects fail, period. It doesn't matter if it's agile, it doesn't matter if it's waterfall, it doesn't matter if it's a hybrid model. And the reason why is that it all starts from when the project team starts planning, inadequate planning. And this comes, it varies from organization to organization. I've had experiences personally when a sales team is involved in planning. They make false promises. They're like, hey, we could deliver an app in 8 weeks. I'm sure Michael knows the story. We've worked on that project. There's no way you could deliver a full-fledged blown app of in 8 weeks based on the requirements that the client is giving us, right? Because we're in an early stage, the client has a vision, they want everything and anything, and we're making false promises. At the same time, it's lack of planning. You don't understand the scope. You don't have a clear definition of the objectives, the requirements, and you know, your timelines are all over the place because you're based off of. I'm saying all over the place because that's what's going to happen. But your timelines are based off of the minimum objectives that you have. And this leads to poor communication because this triggers issues with amongst your team, because then their morals go down because there's no effective communication. People are not understanding the requirements. People are not understanding what the objectives are. There's you know, rivalry between team members where, you know, one is not passing on the message to the other one. There's no collaboration and working. For example, I've had incidents where the tech lead would not tell me what the issues are and if we can deliver a product or not, right? And if you don't understand the scope of the project, it's very hard for you. You could be dumbfounded, and you could just say, go to the stakeholders and be like, hey, yeah, we could deliver it. But then the tech is like saying we cannot deliver it, right? And that itself creates friction within your team members. So misalignment, misunderstanding, and conflicts. And then aside from that, because your scope was not clear or your objective was not clear, that results in a scope creep. And a scope creep, what happens is uncontrolled changes. This is where your change management comes in, folks. And this translates into timeline change, shift change, delays, resource change, right? This bleeds on to inadequate resources. Imagine you had a scope creep or a change in scope, which you guys can actually, you can see what's happening here. It all ties in together. It's a chain cycle, right? And then you're burning your budget, you're burning your resources while the project is not being delivered on a timely basis. And then you also have situations where, the new ask, it doesn't pertain to the team that you have. There may be some certain skill sets that our team members don't have. Then we're stuck in a situation where we're venturing out to find that extra resources, and we're putting up money from our project itself, or the company is actually putting money out where it creates a loss. And then lastly, the most famous one is lack of stakeholder involvement. A lot of stakeholders are busy. They don't have the time or day. They're always, especially when, from my experience, right? They're in high profile companies. They're up in the ladder, C-level leaders. Some are VPs and presidents, right? And they don't have the time or day to give to us for our project. And hence, we don't have the information that we require or the support that we need to deliver a project on a timely basis, right? There are instances where, stakeholders have misunderstanding, or they think, you know what, I'm just a stakeholder. I don't need to provide any information. You figure it out with our team members, right? And that itself causes a rivalry between their teams and our teams, because sometimes they don't have the proper direction as to where they want to take the product to.
And
All
guys,
right.
before we move on, I just wanted to add to that, because there are a couple of things that as a project manager, you'll be talking, for example, to your tech leads, right? You'll be trying to get an estimate for some work. And when Rashanti says scope creep, and that's another thing, there are a lot of terms we may be using here that we're quickly defining, but we'll dive really deep within the course what these terms mean when we're talking about burning resources, when we're talking about a burn up chart, burn down chart, we're talking about scope creep. We'll define these things really clearly for you. But back to my point, I could be talking to my tech lead to try to get an estimate of a new requirement that's come down the pipeline. And keep in mind, folks, this is in the middle of you working on things already. So that'll always happen. Scope creep is when there is some sort of change to requirements, really in a nutshell, right, of what you're building. So there might be something new coming on the pipeline. The business says, hey, I know you're working on this, but we also kind of need this, but we need to understand the effort. How complex is it to build this out? So on the side, you will work with, the people that you need, mostly tech leads and architects. And, you'll work with people that, give you some padded estimates. Hey, this is going to take 3 months, because they want to give themselves a little bit of time. So you got to, as a project manager, ask questions. And when you get answers to questions, you have to keep them honest, maybe validate those answers, right? With other tech members, it really depends, but never take anything. I mean, you got to do your checks and balances and always be double checking everything, making sure everyone is keeping everyone honest, basically, right? So you'll run into those scenarios. Again, we'll take you through those as well. Okay, let's move on. I just wanted to mention that one piece.
All right. So we're going to
Oh.
get to the fun stuff now, Seth.
Yeah, it looks like it. So salary ranges now, this may vary from region to region, but we have pulled some data. It is specific. There are some surveys that were done, so we pulled that. Rashanti, if you could go to the next screen there. Okay, so like in North America, you're looking at a starting salary. This is in Canadian, about 70 to 80. But I will tell you, right now, current state within North America, specifically Canada, it's 100 plus easy. It's 115, 120 plus. Um, but within North America, if you're looking at the US, you know, once you translate that, it's pretty much six figures across the board you're looking at. So there is a lot of money to be made here. But you could be like, Seth, 150. I mean, that's good, but I want to make even more. You have the ability of making more because you don't need to stop at project management. Once you've built this foundation and like you've really mastered it, you can go into program management, you can go into portfolio management, you can get into upper level leadership, C-level. It all starts right over here, folks.
And also, folks, you have to keep in mind that, again, project management is not just for tech. It is for different niches. I am sure that you guys have other skills or you have other degrees or whatnot that you can utilize in combination of project management, and you could create a niche for yourself. And that itself, there's a lot of value in there, and there's a lot of demand when you're a person that has a niche within project management. And I've also seen throughout my career, my first job, um, I didn't start at an entry level. I actually started in a senior level. That's, again, that comes with how you present yourself, how you're able to showcase your skills during your interview process, how you're networking with the right folks, or just being out there and showing them that you are able to navigate through a project, able to work for a team, able to be a people servant. So my first Scrum Master role was in six figures. We're just giving you a general number because
Yes.
it's just data that we found. Oh, we found that was fascinating, but we're here to tell you many folks start at mid-level or senior level salary.
Yeah, this is in euros, I believe, and it's broken down into entry level, mid-level, senior. As Rashanti said, a lot of the time you'll get right into it through mid-level, senior level. We'll share this deck with you. We don't need to go over the numbers in detail, but we want to illustrate that there is some money to be made here, okay? If you could go to the next slide. So we're trying to break it through region. We understand we're global at this point. So, and this is broken down by project management, Scrum management, within different regions within Africa, from the Northwest, East, South, Central. Again, take a good look at this deck once you get it. I don't want to bore you by going through each and every line item here, but there is good money to be made here. Absolutely is what we want. That's the point that we're trying to get across here.
And to my point, when I was introducing myself, I said I have experience working as an international project manager. This is what it means. I did not stick to Canada. I actually got that position as soon as I finished college. I was like, all right, let's see what's out there. And guess what, guys? I landed a role for the United Nations for a sub project with Unilever. And the project was based in Brazil, but I was in Canada managing a project internationally with a team in Finland and Italy. And it was a rewarding experience, right? And it was for a marketing campaign associated with a little bit of technology as well. So you get to experience different realms in different countries.
The theoretical's there, the practical's there, but once you reflect that confidence through your communication, that's all it takes. Once you have that conversation at the table and you can illustrate that you can talk, that's it. That is half the battle is right there. Everything else is achievable. You could learn the theory, you can learn the practical. We will teach you how to be confident in what you say, and speak with some authority. Again, this is Middle East. I believe this is in USD, but in the Middle East, there have been multiple offers that I've received where they said, we will house you. We will give you a car. We will give you this, that, the other. Very, very tempting. We'll even relocate you. You can stay remote. There is a time difference, but there are with the advent, through COVID, It's really opened up this remote opportunity where people weren't, people were doing remote before that, but people had to go fully remote during COVID. So in terms of infrastructure in companies, they did the enhancements they needed to support this remote work. And now everything is almost remote. You do have hybrid opportunities as well, but the doors are open so much more because of this remote ability now. You could be working for an employer in the Middle East, in Australia, have another full-time job here, have a part-time consultancy over here. You can stack up. There are people that have multiple jobs that, don't overlap, and they're making a ton of money. It's possible there. You could do that for a short term, to gain experience, to make some money, and then you could, scale down to something smaller. But I mean, the world is out there, a lot of opportunities.
And also, like, Seth and I met this individual. He was actually my professor, and he was encouraging us to venture out, right? And that's how, again, going back to international project management, kid you not, this guy charges $360 an hour. We're not there yet, but this man charges his clients as a consultant $360 per hour. So imagine the amount of money he can rack up. Again, we're gearing towards like what you could potentially make, but also project management, again, going back to this, every company needs a project management department. There's another term that they use now, VRO department. It's also a operationals department in some organizations. So we're here to tell you to think big, because it is possible. With this realm of a career path, you can grow immensely.
Let me give you another example. Let's say you specialize in a certain type of project. Let's say it's a CRM implementation. Let's say it's Salesforce. It's a very specific module. Let's say it's tailored to HR. I'm just throwing things out there. And you've done about 10, 15 of them in 10 different organizations. You are the expert as a project manager. You have the potential of demanding, like she said, 200, 300, 400. I've seen people make, north of that as well, if you have a niche, if there is a demand, if there is a need. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. I'm not saying that everyone's getting a $500 an hour job, but I'm saying the opportunities are definitely there, and a lot of people are not aware. So when we give you all of this information that you need to make decisions, you could say, you know what? I'm going to focus on this one technology because I see there are not too many experts here. I want to deliver these type of projects. I want to find a way to get into delivering my first project in this technology, in this sector. And then I'm going to keep focusing just on that, finding jobs that deal with that. And I'm going to become an expert. And now I'm going to market myself. I am a project manager with 10 years of experience in the energy sector, doing this kind of project, this kind of implementation, and this kind of system. And that's it. There's people out there. You'll see job descriptions. That's what we want. And we're willing to, pay you. What do you want? How much do you want an hour as a consultant, And now you can dictate. One more quick story. I had I had a CIO that poached me when I was working somewhere. And he said, what do you want? I need you to come out to Edmonton, Alberta in Canada. What do you want? So I said, I want to come home every week to Toronto. So he paid for my flights back. He paid for my hotels in Edmonton, paid for daily meals, not just one. I said, I want 3 meals. I eat 3 times a day. I don't eat once a day. I want everything paid. You can dictate these terms once you have a little bit of experience. You have leverage. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Wanted to throw that out there. Let's move on. We're gonna end here with really quickly going over the pros and cons of full-time employment and consultancy. Now, we've been going over this a little bit. We've been touching on this throughout the presentation. Me and Rashanti both started out as full-time employees. We are both consultants. I'm going to let Rashanti tell you her experience as a consultant, the pros and cons really quickly.
So guys, as Seth said, I started off as a full-time employee, right? Reason behind it is job security, as you know, and the stable income, right? You're going to have an income, a set amount of income. But what I soon realized is with this crazy world, with this crazy economy, there's no job security. Anybody can be let go at any time. There's no stable income. The company that you're working for can just go bankrupt. So it's I'm indefinite in where I stand with a full-time employment, because of course you got also the career development, you got your benefits, you got, you know, your healthcare taken care of and whatnot, right? There's also possibility of team integration, which I appreciate because I am a great networker and I love to network. I love to talk to people, build relationships. I met Michael through that, right? You know, I'm a talker. I talk fast sometimes, but you know, it's just I like to get to know people. But at the same time, how for example, I was able to land a job, my delivery manager job, by just networking with somebody that I was previously working with, right? And she saw the skill sets that I brought. She knew that I was able to do sales. Sales in a sense of bringing customers and whatnot, right? And she automatically, I jumped from a junior Scrum Master to a delivery manager within a span of I guess a year and a half to 2 years. That's a big jump, right? And a salary increase. But I'm here to tell you that we're here to teach you those skills and to help you understand how you can go about it, right? Of course, in full-time employment, there's less flexibility. I wasn't like Seth, where he was able to take a nap midday during the day or go for a jog. But at the same time, I was able to learn more. It is limited in income because when you're full-time and you're working overtime in projects, organizations don't pay you those extra overtimes, right? So you're just limited to the amount of salary that you've signed up for. And there's also limited autonomy, right? As a full-time employee, you're limited to these opportunities that you have within the company. Though I disagree sometimes, because if you know your stuff, and companies do recognize that you have the skill sets and there are people that are willing to support you, this shifts drastically, right? I was able to sit in with my CFO, right? I'm discussing budgets. I'm discussing how to, you know, I was in charge of drafting out the SAL. Like, who hears of that, right? A delivery manager being in charge of drafting out the SAL for the whole organization and kind of like making it a process or optimizing it as a process, right? Working with lawyers and so on. And then it is a steady workload, but at the same time, I find that they overwork you. And that's kind of like the pros and cons of a full-time employment. So
Guys,
Seth.
I'm going to talk to you about a consultant, but before I do that, I started off as a full-time employee, guys, and my company went through a major restructure, and that restructure, um, it devastated me. You know, my job was eliminated through the restructure, and I thought I would be a full-time employee for life. I love the stability. I want to work for one organization. I have full benefits. You know, I have a medical plan. This is all I wanted. It paid, you know, I know exactly what my paycheck's going to be. I can plan. This is it. This is my life. So we go through a restructure. I lose my job. I feel like somebody died in my family. I can't sleep for days. And I get an offer for being a consultant. And the hourly rate was very, very high. And I thought, well, this is nice, but what happens when my contract ends? How will I get another contract? Like, how do I do this? What if there's a gap in between contracts? How will I survive? There was a lot of questions there. And again, you don't get any benefits. You know, there is no medical plan. But the big one, guys, there is no career development. So I spoke to a consultant before diving in, and he said, one thing I will tell you, as a full-time employee, you're working with your functional manager on how to develop yourself, right? In your career path, where do you aspire to be? As a consultant, you're here to do a job, work on a project. They don't care about anything else. You need to deliver on that project, period. So if you want to become a program manager, a portfolio manager, a director, whatever the case may be, you got to do that yourself, and you got to figure out a path to that on the side. What do you need to do to get there? No one's going to help you as a consultant. So you have to be really on your toes. You got to keep yourself honest, and you got to be constantly challenging yourself. You can't get into like a routine of, oh, I'm going to be here and make money. The other main thing of a consultant, which is probably the most lucrative thing about it, is you make a lot of potential to make a lot of money. So about 2 to 2.5 times a full-time employee rate, like annual salary you'll make as a consultant. There are major tax advantages depending on where you are in the world and what the tax laws are. For example, as a full-time employee where we're at, you're potentially giving up anywhere from 30 to 50% of your earnings back to the government. As a consultant, it could be as little as 20 to 30%. There are strategies in write-offs, etc. You'll do that through an accountant. So basically a lot more money in your pocket, but you got to develop your own career. You got to make sure you manage that money. That doesn't mean you go out and buy that sports car or just start spending money. You know what I did, guys? I did multiple jobs for a few years, and I went into real estate. I bought multiple homes to set myself up. That was my future nest egg. I wanted to have, when I retire, I'll have this for myself. So you need to do that planning. Again, we'll talk to you about that. We'll talk to you how to manage that money, what you should be doing with your money, what kind of accounts you should be opening. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. We'll give you a general strategy and who to talk to, what professionals to talk to set up a structure to set you up for success. If you choose to go this route, of course. Again, the cons of a consultant, there may be a gap in between career development. Like I said, those are the minor gaps, but I will tell you this. I have not looked back ever since being a consultant. I get phone calls. Rashanti gets phone calls maybe every other day. Sometimes it's once a week. It really depends, but there's constant offers out there. There are recruiters, there are companies, headhunters reaching out, trying to poach you. Hey, we know you're employed. We know you're working, but here's the opportunity.
And also in regards to like the phone calls, right? I just wanted to put this out there. Regardless of what career you are, always interview. Continue interviewing, because you don't know the potential you have, and you don't know the opportunities that are out there if you don't continue to interview. Even if you're happy with your job, right? Current job, you never know what's out there. And this actually brushes up your interview skills. Make that connection that you need to make. Again, networking, potentially getting those contacts with those recruiters and etc., right? Because you could potentially work with them in the future. So the question is, now we've come to an end, but we want to ask you this. So are you ready for the challenge? Because according to studies, about 2.3 million individuals are required annually to meet the demand of project management roles by 2030.
So hey guys, we're in 2024. You guys are thinking 2030, it's off. I will tell you, there is a major global demand to get into this field. We can pass it off to Michael.
And open up to some Q&A if you guys are up for it.
Yeah, do you want to do Q&A first, or should we open it up? Actually, let's open it up to Q&A.
Yeah, let's do
whatever you recommend, Michael. Here,
let's open it up to Q&A.
Let me just, you can open it up and I'll message him.
Sorry, where was I? There, I had to just step out for a bit.
No problem, Michael. So we were wondering, we're at the end of our presentation. We were going to open it up for some Q&A, but wanted to ask, do you want to talk about
yes,
the opportunity, the discount first, or do you want to open it up for Q&A
yes,
first?
let me introduce the discount for those on the call, and then we can talk some Q&As. You guys can throw your questions in the you guys can throw your questions in the chat, and then we will answer. But in terms of the discount, now there are a couple of you that are probably existing students on our platform. TSG, probably you are a BA student or product management student already. For just being a student and wanting to come on this course, all right, you can get this course for 50%. okay, for 50% off. So basically, let me show you what that means for you. So I'm just gonna take, so just give me a minute. I'm gonna share my screen and show you a couple things. And then we can just wrap this up. Okay. Give me a minute, guys. I will be here with you shortly. Okay. Confirm you can see my screen, guys. All right. And if there are any questions, please just throw those questions in the chat. That's why we're here, to answer your questions, to help you, know if this is a good fit for you. Of course, if you're looking to transition to project management, and like you've heard, project management, unlike some other, careers like product, like maybe business analysis, it's not just tech, right? Project management is not just tech. Project management goes beyond tech. Yes, I know tech is like the in thing right now, but project management actually transcends beyond tech, meaning you can use it in construction, you can use it for manufacturing, anywhere there is a project, which of course that when change happens, and change happens, when you talk about change, so let's take a step back. When you talk about change, change is something that's inevitable. We all know that. You all agree with that. And change will always happen. It's one of the things I tell the students on the BA class, that change will always happen. Any company that refuses to change is actually setting themselves up for to go obsolete, to be dead when it comes to the big scale of things. So what that simply means is that if change is inevitable and every company has to change, projects will always exist. Does that make sense? Why will project always exist? It's because change is actually carried out through the vehicle of a project. The project is the medium through which the change is executed. Does that make sense? Because when you carry out a project is a series of tasks that you undergo to get an outcome. The outcome is actually the change. So what does that tell you? When you trace that back, you begin to see that because change is inevitable, projects will always be there. So because projects will always be there, there will be need for someone to man those projects, manage the resources, and do all of these lovely things that, Seth and Resh has, what they've explained today. All right. So this is one part of the existing carriers in the world today that we know is not going to go into oblivion just because AI came into existence, right? It's not one of those jobs you're going to be afraid that it's going to go into oblivion because AI came into existence. All right. And now I also understand that there are opportunities out there these days that is a combination of so many things. For example, you would see job descriptions these days that are project management and Scrum. So they need someone who has a good grasp of Scrum and Agile, and also a good grasp of traditional or Agile project management. And this course covers all of that. So quickly, I'm going to go through a few things. Now, if you want to do a deep dive by yourself, just come to the website, TheSkillGarage.com, go to programs, go to Agile Project Management Training, and then you can see the brochure here. You can download the brochure. It gives you, it's rich. It's rich, and this is everything you're going to get. Now, some of you I know you may not understand what Sprint Zero workshops mean. These are all of the things that would help you, again, like they said in the opening of this masterclass, this is not one of those certification courses, so to speak, where we just, bury our heads in the textbook. It's not one of those courses. And you guys know we don't do that here at the Skill Garage. We don't just bury our heads in the textbook. We are more about how does this apply to the reality of the workplace, right? How does this apply to the reality? How would you be able to hit the ground running day one? Okay, and that is how this curriculum has been built by experts that would help you hit the ground running. This is not PMP. Listen, you can read, I can get a smart kid read the PMP, go write an exam, and pass. Doesn't mean he's a project manager. It's the same thing with the CBAP. He reads the CBAP, the whole of the BABA guide, do some practice questions, go write an exam, get a certificate. And that's not to say that I'm against certifications. No, I'm not against certifications. All right. I'm pro certification. I'm a certified BA. I've got my CBAP. I'm a certified, Scrum Master. I'm a certified product owner, and the list goes on. Right. So I am pro certification. However, you see, there is that distinction that comes when you do the work. And this is what we'll be giving you. That is what the component of this is going to be giving you. So let's go ahead. So you'll be learning about Jira, the Jira board masteries. These are some of the tools you're going to be using on the job. User story development, backlog understanding. Because again, you begin to see some overlap between what the project manager does and what the BA does, what the project manager does and what the PO does. There are some, overlap there. And these are some of those overlaps you begin to see: backlog understanding, sprint planning and execution, bi-weekly retrospectives, real-world scenario, and then we'll be working on live projects, okay? Now, let's go into the course itself. Now, this is us, just introducing the course to you like we're doing today. And when we begin to dive deep into the course itself, you begin to understand the difference between, and some of these things you already seen them today, the difference between, working for a software agency against, enterprise corporation. What's the difference between a Scrum Master, a project manager, and a delivery manager? You already begin to see that. And then we'll then begin to take you into the thing itself. 5 stages of project life cycle. Talk about the Agile principles, Scrum, Kanban, which is what everybody's looking for. Check the job boards, check the job descriptions. In fact, one of the first things I tell my students, when you start a new course, especially when you're trying to transition, the first thing you should do for yourself is go and look for at least 30 job descriptions relating to that career, so that you can begin to have an understanding of where you are lacking and what you need. And that is when you begin to appreciate the course content of the course that you're on. Because when you see the job description and you see, what you're learning week in, week out, you are able to then see how you compensate, all right, for what you're lacking as far as that job is concerned. All right, so these are the things you're going to learn. You'll learn about Scrum. You'll learn about the artifacts of Scrum. You'll learn about Sprint Zero. Now, Sprint Zero is a workshop kind of style. Let me show you an example that we've done with the students on our platform. So maybe, I hope this thing doesn't, I hope I'm able to show you one or two things. For those of you who don't understand what a Sprint Zero is, something of this nature where you bring everybody together, you have something like this. Trust me, you won't do this on in a conventional training. Just any type of training won't teach you this. I can tell you for the facts. All right. Okay. So when we teach you things like this and show you things like this, where you have to, you have an agenda, we show you how to create an agenda for a Sprint Zero, how to manage this kind of thing, how to pull people together, because that's your job, right? We show you how to do this practically. So this is not theory, right? This is practically. And these are the kind of things you want to be able to do. Okay? So we'll show you things like that, what Sprint Zero is, how to schedule projects, how to, manage risk, raid logs, forecasting. And I can show you some of, the works we've done along this line. You also begin to learn how to write user stories. Now, some of you may be saying, but that is a BA's job. Okay, hold on. In some organizations, PMs are responsible for writing user stories. I've said that several times, and I don't know how many times else I'm going to say that, right? So you need to be on top of these things. You need to know these things, because you don't know where you'll find yourself tomorrow. You might have an opportunity opening in a tech company, and that is where your first big break is coming from. Would you say, oh, no, I'm not going to take that opportunity because I don't know how to write user stories. I only know how to manage people and manage budget and manage blah, blah, blah. No. So you have to be ready for the different types of industry. So you have, it's a rich, I'm telling you, it's a rich curriculum that you have here. All right. And then you can go on to talk about let me just skip some of these other things. And, you go on to see, there's a place I saw tech, where we talk about tech and all of that, DevOps and the rest. And then career map. I mean, you're talking to a master networker and she can give you the insider tips. All right. So please go, I don't want to take your time. Go look at this, at the brochure. It's a rich brochure, that covers everything you need to know as far as project management is concerned. Now, let's talk about how do you get in. All right. Now, because we want many of you to be able to take advantage, all right, of the experience we have on board. And I mean, between these two people, you can imagine two experienced people like this taking a course like this. So there's a whole lot. Having one of them alone on the course is a big deal. All right. And I know how much it took me to be able to bring these people on the call. For those of you who know me and know how I take I take a lot of pride in the quality that we give. Of course, if I don't take a lot of pride in the quality that we give, I mean, we won't be having this kind of so for those of you who don't know who we are, we won't be having this kind of reputation and reviews. This is 202, 5-star reviews. So we know what we are doing. From our product management course, where Emmanuel is taking that course, and you guys know he's a master in what he does, to the project management course, where we have Resh and Seth. I mean, these are people that have, for the lack of a better word, they know the game like the back of their palm, right? Okay, so we want you to be a part of this. All right, we want you to be a part of this, and it's they've been doing this for quite a while. It's just that we are debuting. We're going to be debut. This is our debut for in the TheSkillGarage, but they have been doing this for quite a while. So for you guys, between now and Tuesday, I'll be giving you a very broad opportunity to come in on the course. And guess what? It's stupid. It sounds stupid. It sounds crazy. It sounds like, Michael, you're out of your mind. But yes, I'm going to do it. All right. So Reshanti, please, I'm going to do this. All right. So we're going to be giving you, or I will be giving you 50% discount, which is huge. That's a big deal. Normally, this costs with everything and the practical component. So you're doing the practical, like the internship, right? You'll be working on a live project. In fact, I told you that one of our projects, the Afro Shop, is going to collision this year. We already sorted that out. This is one of our huge projects, and it's going to collision. And we have a lot of projects that we work on our platform. All right. So there's no way you're going to come into this course. There will be no project for you to be a project management manager on. You would definitely have to have a project to manage, because we have lots of projects. You can see this board alone is for projects. This is for the cohort. This board alone is for projects. So you see, there's a whole lot of projects for you to manage. So you can manage as many as 2 projects if you want, or 1 project. And we have, projects that are actually doing well. And one of these is this one. We are actually going to be pushing out maybe this week or next week. And the MVP is going to be slated for June. And then we'll be going to collision in June. And that's a huge one, right? So you want to be a part of that kind of community that takes practicality at the heart, that puts practicality at the heart of what they do. It's simple. So I'm going to be giving you 50% off. Now, to get this 50%, let me put this in the chat. I'm going to put this in the chat quickly. Now, to get this 50%, you're going to use the code, because this is the masterclass, okay? You're going to be using the code masterclass 50, okay? Masterclass 50. So select any of these and put masterclass 50, all right? And apply the code. Oh, is that invalid? All right, let's check that. Masterclass.
And Michael, this is for the project manager course, not the product manager, right?
Oh, sorry. I am using it somewhere else. I was wondering, why isn't it working? All right. Thank you for citing that. All right. So it's the Agile Project Management course. So sorry, I gave you the wrong link, guys. So forget about that link I sent. I'm going to send you the new link. Okay. So this is the new link. All right. So the link will take you here, and then you select this and say Masterclass 50, and then you apply. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so if you want to add the CSM, you can add the CSM to it, but it's not compulsory. All right, so you get it for half the price of 945 Canadian dollars. And for me, if you asked me for a project management course of this nature with the practical element, I don't think after this cohort, I'll be doing something like this again. I don't think so. All right. So if you're making a 3-time payment, probably you can make the 1-time payment. You still get a 50% off for sure. So you select that and you do masterclass 50, and then you apply that and you go there. Now, I don't want to come in on Wednesday asking me, please, I didn't, pay. I know there's so many people do that. Please take advantage of this opportunity. It's a big deal. It expires on Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. EST. So you've got like how many hours? Like 72 hours to make up your mind, okay? Because I know some of you there's a lot that goes on through your mind to make a decision, which is fine. And we're giving you that, enough ample time to make up your mind. Now, for those of you, the next other thing I'm going to do for you is that for those of you who are going to join this course, please listen to this. If you're joining any of our other courses, for example, our BA course, if you're joining the business analysis course, all right, where we teach you product ownership, we teach you, Agile, we teach you business analysis and all of that stuff. All right. If you are enrolling for this course, you're going to get the business analysis course for half the price. Did you hear that? So it means that you can get 2 courses for it's like for the price of 1, right? So if you are enrolling, why am I doing this? It's because I want to, and I told the guys who came on the masterclass yesterday, and I was telling them about my story. I was reliving my story. I'm probably going to, tell you my story in a bit so that you understand where I'm coming from and, why I'm showing that much empathy for you to come on the course so you'd understand. All right. So if you are enrolling on the project management course, which is this one at 50%, we will also be able to give you 50% at any time when you are ready. So it's not just for now. So if you're ready, whenever you're ready in the future to take the business analysis class, all right, we will give it to you for half the price, which is 50%. Now, secondly, for those of you who are already students of our product management course or you're students of our BA course already, and you want to be a part of this project management course, all right, we'll also give it this cost to you at 50%, all right, at 50%. So I would call this kind of a sweet deal because, again, you are getting 2 courses at the price of 1. Okay, so I think that's a good deal, to be honest with you. I feel it's a very, very good deal to be able to get 2 of these for the price of 1. The reason is simple. When you go out there, you see some courses or some job descriptions that is asking for, some kind of skill set within the project management space and additional skill set within the BA space. Now, you don't see too many of those jobs, but they exist. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't see too many of them, but they exist. And this opportunity will give you, will help you to be able to position yourself adequately for that. So I am personally looking forward to, I will be on the calls. I'll be in, a couple of your sessions. I'll also, help to take 1 or 2 sessions that you'll probably be interested in, especially when it comes to work experience and all of that stuff. I will be in a very good position to help you with that. Okay, so do we have
a question?
you have a question?
Yeah, there's a question about the structure of the 3-time payments.
Oh.
So maybe you can give them that breakdown.
Okay, structure. I'm not sure what you mean by structure, but I think what you're asking is in terms of like the interval between each payment. So if you're asking about the interval between each payment, that will be every 30 days. Okay, every 30 days. So say, for example, you make a payment April 13th, you will be charged that same amount April, May 13th. Okay, so it's every 1 month. All right, April 13th, May 13th. So we give you ample time to, be able to gather the next installment. All right, so you don't pay every 2 weeks, you pay every 30 days, every single month. Is that okay? I hope that answers your question, right? So it's a monthly payment and you only pay 3 times, right? And then you have access to whatever it is that we give on the platform. Okay. And you can be part of our project sessions every Tuesday. We do have like a project session every Tuesday. You can always be a part of that. You can always see what other people are doing from the BA side of things, your own PM side of things, just putting all of that and blending all of that experience together. It makes it worthwhile. Course duration for this one is 11 weeks. All right. The course duration for the project management course is 11 weeks. Now, some of you may have the capacity to combine PM and BA, probably because the PM course happens every Saturday and the PM course and the BA course, the PM course happens every Saturday and then the BA course happens on, Friday and Saturday. But I would say, take it a step at a time. Don't worry, the discount is not running away. You can start with this course, the project management course. And whenever you're ready to take another additional course, in fact, I will speak to Coach Emmanuel. I believe that we can also give you 50% on our product management course if you're taking this course. I believe so. I believe he's going to say yes to it. All right. So, and you can take my words for it. Even if he doesn't say yes, I will give you from my end. All right. So if you're doing this course, I'm giving you a lot of incentives, throwing a lot of incentives at you. And the reason is simple, is because, I know that there are people out there like that used to be like myself that has gone through a lot. And let me just quickly, just in case you're wondering, why am I saying all that I'm saying? I'll give you a quick brief of myself and my journey, and maybe that would inspire you a little bit to take some action. All right. So let me give you some bit of myself. Let me tell you a bit of myself first, and then for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, I'm Michael Akpan. All right. I used to be a university lecturer. For those of you who don't know, I used to be in the university. I taught in the university. I'm an associate fellow higher education academy in the UK. What that means is that I teach. I've taught in universities back in the UK. I started teaching at the age of 15. You may not like it. You may not believe it, but it's true. Started teaching physics straight out of high school, and that's the reason why I can teach physics with my eyes closed. If you wake me up from sleep, I'll teach you physics any day. I have more than 10 years of experience in this space, in the digital product experience space. I'm a product pundit. I've shown you one of our products that's going to collision this year. I've worked with more than 20 plus global brands: Coca-Cola, Rogers, Cadillac, Fairview, RBC, Barclays, Telos, name it. I am a certified BA. I'm a certified Scrum Master. I'm a certified product owner. I'm an ardent Agile evangelist, and I'm a top 5 nominee BMO Black Entrepreneur of the Year. We just got that. And thank God our work is being recognized by people, so they see what we are doing right here. You can follow any one of us on LinkedIn. I believe Resh will also share her LinkedIn with you guys, so you can always connect with us on LinkedIn. Now, let me tell you a bit of my story. My story is quite different. So I started my story starts from here. A while back, I started a PhD, my PhD in chemical engineering, because I moved from chemical engineering into tech. All right. Like some of you are moving from one career to the next, so it's okay. You're not alone. All right. I started my PhD and everything was looking good and fine and wonderful, one of the best universities in the world. But something happened. Imagine living in the heart of London and boom, your funding gets, retrieved. Like you don't have any funding anymore. And I remember this day I was just at the lab and I was finishing from the lab only to get to my laptop and discover that my funding has ended. That was not, it was no joke, because I had a wife, a pregnant wife, a son. I had to take care of myself. I had to pay the bills. How would I do that? Man, then it became more serious. I had to start doing my, those jobs that will keep me afloat. Now, you may not understand the full gamut of what I'm saying, but let me give you a rundown of what my life became, what it became like for like 2 years. And some of you may resonate with what I'm saying right now. I would wake up 5 a.m. in the morning. For those of you who probably lived in London, there's if you know Whitechapel, there's this, there's this line of offices on Whitechapel. I used to clean those offices from 5 a.m. till about 8 a.m. when people come in to start their work. I was like the cleaner there. So 5 a.m. I'll wake up. I wake up I actually wake up before 5 a.m. I have to be at the place at 5 a.m. to start cleaning. So I go to the office 5 a.m. I clean those offices till about 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I have to return back to school. Remember that I've lost my funding. And it's not funny when you're in the UK and you lose your funding and the home office discovers that you don't have any funding, you're going back home. And I'm from Nigeria. So I don't want to go back home that early. So if they discover you're going back home. So I had to, find a way to show up at school so that my supervisor can still see me. And then once I discover my supervisor has seen me for the day, boom, I'm off to my furniture moving job. And then for my furniture moving job in the afternoon, I do that till like the evening. And then I have some clients, in East London. I had this, Asian friends. My Asian friend, Kabilan, actually introduced me to some of his Asian friends and kids and all of that, and got me some good gigs for teaching physics. And those were some of the things that I did in addition to doing all of these things. I also got cleaning gigs via TaskRabbit. So it was a lot for me. I was working from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. doing different, like 3-4 jobs. And I did this steady for 2 years. You can imagine how much mental load that was for me for 2 steady years. I just knew that I needed a change. I'm telling you all of this because some of you may be in that particular situation whereby you're doing 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 5 jobs just to make ends meet. I was someone who was in that particular situation at the time, but something happened. All right. I came across this guy. His name is KG, and this tells you that, listen, you will need mentorship when it comes to career transition. And that is why we have these solid people here to give you the mentorship that you need. I mean, I had a mentor. You can hear Reshanti was telling you that she had a mentor. All right. She had a mentor. We all had mentors to help us navigate this journey to get to where we are today. All right. And I won't act as if I didn't go through that phase too. All right. I had to borrow about 750. I'm not saying go and borrow money, but that's what I had to do in my case because I needed that change. I had to borrow about 750 pounds then to get on a business analysis course. All right. So, and the rest right now, honestly, is history. The rest is history. Okay. The rest is history. I get to live the life that I live, the life that I want, do what I want to do with myself. I get to have my own time and also make the money. All right. So it's not enough to be on this call and aspire to live the life that you want. It's okay to aspire. It's okay to dream. In fact, I tell people, dare to dream. Dare to dream. But after dreaming, wake up and take actions. And honestly, if you look at where I'm coming from and what I've had to been through and the number of people, all right, that we have had to, take through this journey, okay, the number of people that we've had to take through this journey, in the past 3 years, I've helped more than 300 people to transition, to wonderful careers, all right? And we want to help you do the same thing too, right? And that is why I'm giving you that opportunity to be able to come in and giving you that easy access, giving you the discounts I'm giving you is because I want to also see you succeed. What pains me the most is having to see people, live below their capacity and live below, what they are actually able to do or to earn, living below your earning capacity. All right. So please, please, please take action. I have done my own bit. I know that I've done my bit. The instructors have done their bit. It's now over to you. The ball is now in your court. Again, between now and Tuesday, you have a 50% discount for you to take a hold of. I see that there's a hand up. Probably that's a question. Go ahead, Dean.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing your story with us and giving us an insight to make a good decision. So I was just going to ask, if I want to take action now and I want to make some part of the payment in 3 installments, just like you said, you've specified that it's going to be charged intermittently every 30 days. So if I pay like for example £100 now, and is it that the next 30 days is going to be automated, £100 will be
Yes, it's going to be
automatically charged again?
£100. All right, so basically, good question. So basically, if I'm going to, let me just refresh this and see whether we have that properly. So this is the 3-time payment. So you come in here, normally it's about $630. That's about £369 if you're joining from the UK.
Yeah, from
That's
the
about
UK.
£369 approximately. I know because we do all of those transactions. So you divide that by 2, that's around 100 and something pounds, right?
Yeah.
So that will be master class 50, and then you apply that. Okay. And then you can see that it's charging you $315 now, which is half the price. And it's telling you that it's going to charge you 2 additional payments of $315 every 30 days, right? So every 30 days, or call it 31 days if you want. All right. So if you're making a payment today, the 13th, it's going to charge you $315 again on the 13th of May. Is that okay?
That's not clear. So the total amount for the course should be £315.
$315,
Um,
$315, $315. Yes.
okay, so that makes it £945 altogether.
Yes. No, not pounds. This is in Canadian dollars. So if you're joining from the UK, this is roughly around, you're spending roughly around £350 in total.
Okay.
Like in total.
In total.
Yeah, in total,
Okay,
you're
okay.
paying around, this is in Canadian dollars. So if you're doing
Canadian dollars.
yeah, so if you're doing that rough estimation, it's around, so for you, $315 will be around, but if you want to pay directly in pounds, just let me know. I can set up something for you, especially on Stripe, and you can pay directly in pounds. That's not a problem. Not a big deal.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
We can always set something up for you directly on Stripe for you to make that
Okay.
payment in pounds directly if that's an issue. But yeah, you shouldn't be spending anything, it's this will be, because pound is a bit more stronger, so you should be paying about 100 and something for sure.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so just let me know. You can go ahead with this, but if you think your preference is just paying directly in pounds, just let me know. I'll set up something for you. Okay, you can
Okay.
just reach out to us on WhatsApp on this number. So +1, let me put that in the chat. So
Yeah, please.
those of you who are in the same situation, 437-345-0501, just reach out to us on WhatsApp on that number, and somebody's gonna attend to you. All right, just reach out to us on that number, +1 437 345-0501. And somebody's going to definitely attend to you on that. Any other questions?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and when is the program starting?
Oh, next week. Next week this time.
Next week, perfect.
Yeah, next week
that's fine. That's fine.
we are it's full throttle.
Okay.
Next week.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. So the program starts. The boot camp starts next week. This time, 10 a.m. It will be a Saturday affair. And probably within the week, you have something to work on, probably group work, or group assignments, or group discussions and things like that to keep you busy within the week. But this program actually kicks off next week. So for those of you who have made a payment or who will be making a payment by Tuesday, now after Tuesday, you go back to the early bird. All right, we have an early bird payment. Okay, so you go back to the early bird. But really, 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 please take advantage of these, because again, there's so many things that you get to, so many perks For example, our BA course, I call it the Master BA course because it's a classic BA course. Not because I teach it. Of course, I'm biased because I teach it. But it's it gives you 50% off on that course. So that's a big one. That's a big one. All right. Any other question, guys? Yes, it's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. If you're joining from the UK or Europe, anywhere from Europe, okay, it's gonna be your 3 p.m. BST. Okay, from the UK, yes, it's 3 p.m. We teach the UK guys every time. So yes, it's 3 p.m. Over there. Okay. Now, for those of you who are concerned about a certificate of completion, we'll definitely give you a certificate of completion if you require that. If you require it, just reach out to me. We'll definitely get you one. All right. That's not the big deal, and that's not the essence of this course, to be honest with you. But I know some of you still, want to have something to show that you went through a course like this, which is fine. We can always produce that for you. All right. Okay. Okay. Are there any questions still? No questions? Oh, yes, references, yes. So we have sister companies that you're going to use, all right? I think the person who asked the question is no longer on the call. Is he on the call? Okay, so we have sister companies that you're going to use just like our BA students do, all right? Now, we have one that is going to Coalition that is already registered. You can use that. You can use our consulting, all right? Okay, I'm not going to mention here, but we have companies that you can use for references, 100%. So yes, the answer is yes. We'll give you references. I'll give you reference. I love writing references. I do references every week. Okay.
And you guys can definitely reach out to us. We've been in the industry for some time. I've worked with us, folks from Silicon Valley as well, and students off there for Springboard. So we're more than definitely willing to write you references, and obviously potentially use the capstone project as one of your experience, right? So it's giving you that experience that you need to enter the workforce.
Yeah. And again, last one. So those of you who know me, I work with the best of the best. Trust me, these guys are, top of their class. And when it comes to project management, I've worked with them. And that's why I have so much confidence. Like some of you who have, seen Emmanuel do his thing on product management. We don't just bring any kind of person. We'd rather take forever to do a course than to just, then do a course and it's not up to par. Trust me, it's 100% everything you need to hit the ground running day one on the job. I can guarantee you that 100%, right? Guarantee you that 100%. Our name is on the line. The TheSkillGarage is on the line, so we'll definitely bring you something that is, that's top notch, 100%. Okay, so let me check. Somebody said, have we answered this question? I'm a PMO analyst in the UK. Will the course help me to advance within? Have we answered that question?
We have. So
okay.
yeah, it's really, it really depends on what route they'd like to take. But obviously, you could leverage this course even within the realm of PMO analyst, right? For example, the job that I'm currently working at as a program manager and portfolio management, right? It paves the way for you to actually enhance your career path. So you could go in the realm of project management and explore there, or you could just continue on as a PMO analyst and move up the ladder from there.
Okay, so that we can keep in touch and send you all the information. I know it could be a lot of information for so many people right now. So what I'm going to do, I will send you the Telegram group where you should be in, and then we'll send you that information in the Telegram group. We also have your registration. We have your email. If we don't have it, please let us have your email, all right, so that we can send you all of this information. Amma is going to be sending you that. Amma is our communications person. Some of you have definitely reached out to her, probably interacted with her, seen her messages on the Telegram group. So I'm going to grab that from the Telegram group quickly, all right, and I'm going to send it to you. Please join the Telegram group so that we can be able to send you information on time. So I'm going to grab that link and I'm going to grab that link quickly and I'll send it in the chat right now. Okay, it's just in case you are not yet in our Telegram group. So that's the Telegram group, please. Please join the Telegram group. All right. And join the Telegram group. Reach out to us on WhatsApp on that numbers. It's been stored in the chat there, and we will be able to help you, even beyond today. Okay. All right. You mean by about 3 hours? Mercy, do you want to? I'm unmuting you. Do you want to talk? Do you want to say something? Mercy, go
So
ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Mercy.
Go ahead.
I think I'm so much interested, even though it doesn't really matter. I'm not working, but I can always go out there and borrow this money.
I'm more interested in mentoring. You are interested in coming to me, yeah?
Yes, I've been following. The truth of the matter is that I've been following you know about all the free classes. It's been so amazing.
All
Very,
right,
very.
thank you for that.
That's been so
Thank you
helpful.
for that.
I've been in banking though before I came to Europe, but presently I'm not doing anything. I'm just
Oh,
kind of see I can get a menial job to foot my bills. So now that you are approximately to 350, I felt I could talk to some friends. I could get the money, but my major concern is that I want to see how best, because I'm so passionate about this, and I know because I've had little knowledge about business analysis and data analysis kind of. I know I could do well if I'm very serious about what I'm seeing here. I just
okay.
want to know when I'm done with this, how soon can I get a job? I don't mind like what
Okay,
the
so
lady
that
was saying. I don't
okay,
mind getting a job anywhere. I'm not particular about coming to Canada or anywhere. I just want to like, okay, then because I have a family to take care of too.
absolutely 100%. And of course, you know that the reason why we're actually getting to do this is so that you guys can land a job. All right.
Yes, yes.
Talking about getting a job, of course, there are several factors that surround you getting a job. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But the factor that leans on us, okay,
Yes.
as your mentor, as your tutor, as your teachers, as your, whatever you want to put it there, we
Okay.
satisfy that 100%. What does that mean? So it means that when it comes to giving you the skill set you need to be able to confidently, go out there and seek the opportunity you want, we will give that to you. When it
Okay.
comes to, adequately equipping you with the experience that you need to be able to confidently address the market, we'll give that to you. When it
Okay.
comes to, equipping you and helping you position yourself for the market using probably your resume or the
Yeah.
interview skill set, we will do that for you.
Okay.
So
Beyond
Mercy,
that, the ball
go
now
ahead.
falls in your court. What do I mean? For example, when we tell you and give you all these things, I've seen students come to me and tell me they apply for 10 jobs in a month. Are you okay? How can you apply for 10 jobs in a month and you want to get a job that quick, right? So you see that there are now some factors that are now in your own court that you have to go for that opportunity, be crazy and wild about the opportunity, go and get the interview opportunities, and then we can help you go smash those opportunities. You understand? So
Okay.
how soon you get a job it will be dependent on how desperate you want to go, you're going for this thing, right? And it's dependent on a lot of factors that it's not just us, it's a
Okay.
teamwork, it's a team sport. Okay.
Okay.
Now I can tell you that I always tell this story that the highest paid on our platform earns $208,000 from one job. And this guy got the job. Hold on. He got this job 5 weeks into the program because we had to push him to start testing. We have what we call testing the waters, to start testing the waters. But we've also seen people who got a job after 1 year. So
Okay.
if I don't balance it for you, you would think, oh, everybody gets a job after 5 weeks. Get the point? Or
So
everybody gets a
Mercy,
job like Olamide after 10 weeks. Does that make
Okay.
sense? But there are
Yes.
people who get a job after 6 months. Someone like Thea Gonzalez got a job after, I think 2-3 months after her program. And because it was she was putting in a lot into, that application process. So, it's dependent on a number of factors. Most importantly, it's dependent on the person themselves. Some people just decide and take a break. Some people, after 1 or 2, 3 rejections, they decide it's not for me. How do you do that? Why would you do that? So it's part of our training that deals with, especially when you are, when I'm talking with you guys in the class and when I jump into class, I like to also, go into the part of psychology and help you
Okay.
renew your mind, because your mind is also a huge part of what happens in your transition. Apart from the skill set, apart from the experience we're trying to give you, there's a huge part of your psychology that's going to help you land a job. Okay, so we try as much as possible from our end to do end to end and cover all of that. Does that make sense, Mercy?
Yes,
So,
very
it's
excellent.
a
Yeah.
team sport. It's a you and I sport, and we will do our
Thank you.
best to make sure that you're positioned and rightly positioned to get the best opportunities out there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Mercy, just to add a little bit, right? You and I kind of shared like the same background, data analytics. So just a pivotal kind of definition of how I was able to do it. You know, I'm a mother of two. I was cleaning toilets. I was doing anything I can to actually make ends meet, right? Obviously things are hard. Family comes first and all that stuff, right? And of course I was in the corporate industry as well. But when I was able to get the mentorship that I needed to get from Seth and like a program like this, even though I didn't have the hands-on experience, it's all about putting yourself out there and networking. And we're going to teach you those techniques, right? We're not going to promise you that you're going to get a job, but I could promise you that I'll show you like the techniques that you could utilize to land a job. And also Seth and I can definitely share the skill sets that we have and teach you the skill sets that we have so that you could potentially grow within your field of work, within data analytics or whatnot. But then there is also the project management aspect of it, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'll go out there. I'll ensure I get the money. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please keep in touch, and then you have our numbers. You can always.
Yes, I do.
There
Thank
was
you.
another hand that was up. Okay, another hand was up. Do you still want to ask a question? There was a hand that was up. I'm sure I saw a hand up. All right. I'm sure I saw a hand up.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's right here.
go ahead. Oladayo, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, good afternoon. That was me. Thank you so much. I think this is the longest time I've stayed on a very free masterclass. So
But you should try our BA masterclass. You stay for 3 hours. You'll not be tired, eh?
yeah,
All
thank
right,
you
go
so much.
ahead.
Thank you so much. So I think I actually lowered my hand because I read the response that someone gave. So for me, for someone, I think I'm just a bit scattered. I'm scattered in the sense that I am rounding up my master's in marketing communications. I presently run the program also in CIM. And I've been having this big interest in business analysis. I think that's my big strength. But after listening to, this masterclass, I think I'm probably leaning more towards this Agile project management. I've done some background into Agile, so I've got a bit of idea. So I just wanted to advise, maybe in the short time, yeah.
Okay, so I didn't get that. So you need like an advice on what
I
Yeah.
think he's kind of wanting to go on the business side or the product side, or I will just say one thing. Being a project manager, you'll be working with the business analyst, with the product owner. Those are very key pivotal roles on a cross-functional team. I'm not saying, hey, you should take all the courses, but they are very, very, they add to your arsenal, to your wheelhouse, to your weaponry of what you need. So I would strongly suggest, if it's possible, these areas, you want to be an expert in these areas. You'll be communicating with these people as a project manager. But Michael, please feel free to give your thoughts.
Oh, absolutely. So, you have already said you feel like you're tilting more to the project management, which is fine, right? And I would say start with that. If that's where you feel a bit more of a connection, more of a connection with, I think you can start with that. And the good thing is this. Listen, I didn't just say that because and I didn't just give that discount because I just wanted people to come. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm giving it because I know the benefits you can get from these things. So you're taking this at 50%, okay? And you are in a community where, trust me, I'm not even joking. You see this PM course and our BA course, ask anybody who has gone through our BA course, you can go through the reviews. It's one of the best that you can ever have, right? So if you then decide that, okay, I've done this PM course and I feel like I need more, you can always move on to our BA side of things at still 50%. So it's like getting both courses at the price of one. That's number one. Okay. The second thing you need to know here is that in tech, I say it all the time, the more, the merrier. You can never go wrong. So what do I mean by that? You have done marketing. You are adding another skill set, project management. Then you are adding BA. If tomorrow you decide you want to add data, you are not wrong. The more, the merrier. Why? Because the way the market is even going is such that people are looking for multiple skill sets. So what are we talking about? Where do you lose? Okay, so I would say start from where you are more, you feel you're more drawn to, you're more tilted to, and then you can always build. Life, you build in blocks, right? You don't just, we all didn't get to where we are in just one sprint. I didn't get to where I am in just one sprint. I started with BA. I did some project management, right? If you throw me into project management, I can do that. If you throw me into product management, I can do it. If you throw me into data, I can do it. But I didn't start with data. I didn't start with product. I didn't start with any of those. I started with BA. And then I gradually, when I, got my foot in the door, and then I started going, it's building in an agile fashion, iteratively. And that's how life is meant to be. Sometimes you can't just do everything at once. So I would say, for you, Oladayo, if you feel like you are more, tilted to this, more drawn to this is where you feel like you would function perfectly, then go for it. Okay. And then the opportunity exists for you to then, do other things and add to that. Does that make sense?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, let's do that. Don't be scattered all over the place, okay?
Yeah.
Just stay on that lane and do it. Get your heads down. I'm gonna get this done, get that done, tick the box, move on. Right?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
That's how you make progress. Otherwise, you sit on one spot, dilly-dallying, and you don't make any progress. Right? Donald, they said the BA masterclass is not a master. Well, you're sending it to the host and panelists. Probably you send it to everyone. Okay, so Donald said the BA masterclass is not a master, it's a masterpiece, the best practical masterclass, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much, Donald. All right, we got to go, all right? Except you have questions, that's the only reason why we're here. But if you do have questions after this session, you know how to reach us, okay? You can go on TheSkillGarage.com, all right? Just getting on this website, you will have enough information to reach us. You can reach us via WhatsApp. If you click on that, it links you directly to WhatsApp, directly to the Skill Garage WhatsApp, so you can speak with us. Or Instagram, you can, just jump into our message section and chat with us. Or LinkedIn, you can meet me on LinkedIn and chat with me. Or +1, all of these, you can do that. Payment made. How do I get a confirmation? And you should get a confirmation when you make payment. So Samcat is going to send you a confirmation, Dean, if you made a payment. However, you can reach me and then I can send you an additional receipt through Stripe. Is that okay, Dean? I've seen your payment, however. I've seen your payment, so don't worry. Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right. Some of you are already making payments, which is great. All right. And I'll see you when the class begins. Remember, this offer is open for the next, how many hours? 24, 48, 72, I think 3 days. So, take advantage of it. That's all I'll say. Take advantage of it. All right. Don't sleep on it. Like they say in my place, don't sleep on a bicycle. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. And please join the Telegram group if you're not there. And you would get to see and talk with Resh and Safe next week and you will get to hear from us. We'll send some communication to you via SMS, via email, and probably Amma will get to call a few of you personally. Is that okay? All right. Okay, bye, guys. Catch
See
it.
you guys next Saturday, guys. Take care.
You guys, thank you.